Good evening, welcome back here for a night of Dota 2. We're going to have 3 matches for you today. Or 3 games, I should even say, 3 games of best of ones. Excellent Moscow Cup round robin group stage. We're going to see Aware taking on NEXT.kz. Afterwards, we're going to see 2 games with the Power Rangers. One where they face up against the Retry or Dream Team 168. And another one where they face up against Relax. You are doing fine. But for now, though, Aware, taking on NEXT.kz. Of course, I'm not by myself. I'm once again joined by G-Advance. G-Advance, welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Is there meant to be the spectator thing in the top right for me? I'm slightly worried. That's not normally meant to come up.
Are you not
I was
in
in the channel,
right...
wasn't I?
Well, I don't know. Were you in the channel? I don't know.
Whoops.
Someone with a ticket, can you please let us know if he is in the channel or not?
How stupid I am.
Yes. Let us know how stupid he is, and if he is indeed sitting in the broadcaster slot or not. If he is not, then I would suggest you listen to also to the stream on the background, because with the co-cast there's just more fun. So just
you can send me a mean tweet calling me an idiot.
Yeah.
Because I'll accept that, to be honest, because the number of mistakes I make as far as like my microphone's not on and stuff is pretty high. Like, it's bad.
It is bad. I agree. And I would be the one to say like, oh, it's not too bad. Like, that would be my normal job, but I will actually say, yeah, no, you're right.
I bring out the worst in people, though.
Yeah.
Like, I bring out the flame in you.
Hey, you know who else brings out the worst in a Dota game? Lycan. I lost against a Lycan today. Oh, wait, I lost against a lineup that had a Lycan, an Ember Spirit, and an Age of Prophet.
That's really annoying. That's really annoying, because, like, the thing is, you can't even complain Ember and Furion are OP or anything, because they've kind of been proven to not be, but they're just irritating.
Yep.
And Lycan is just straight up ridiculous. And speaking of Lycan, apparently Aware and NEXT.kz, I mean, they disagree with us, maybe, or they just don't like it.
They don't like it, I think. Gentleman's agreement, perhaps. You know, you don't never mind.
Screw that.
Yes.
Says no.
No gentleman's agreement. It's Lycan for Aware. They also have the Invoker, so that's 2 strong heroes right there. An Invoker and Lycan, both heroes want to be fairly left alone at the start of the game, so I like NEXT.kz's pickup of a Chen, who can start with early roaming and perhaps make some trouble on on different lanes. Although at the same time, I'm kind of worried for the Ember, because he normally wants to have something like a Dazzle sit behind him. And
yeah,
he's not picked up.
Yeah, Dazzle's been ignored. I mean, this is one of the things with that's very interesting, I think, about this tournament in particular, because these teams, almost like they fake each other out sometimes. Like, we just saw Chen, second pick, but no Dazzle, and Dazzle is almost always picked up way before Chen is. Chen isn't even that popular this patch. Chen has been, like, a stable hero in the Dota meta since before time actually begun. So it's kind of surprising that, you know, Dazzle is a more stable hero than that, but we see the Chen picked up early. The interesting thing that I think about Aware's lineup is that, like you said, they kind of need to be sat alone and left alone a fair amount of time. And another thing is that this Invoker, if he goes for more of a teamfight build, if he goes for the cross-Wex build, I think that might actually be a bit weaker in this game, because whilst it's very useful versus Ember Spirit, very useful to be able to burn off his mana, because obviously that hero is very vulnerable without it. I think this is the start of a push strat from the side of Aware, because they've got Lycan and Invoker. You can't do anything else with the Lycan. You can split push, you can kind of put him into a teamfight lineup sometimes, but I think if you get Necro Books on both of these guys, you just go kill every tower in the game. And Ember Spirit struggles versus that, because if he kills off those Necronomicons, he hurts himself pretty hard.
Yeah, indeed. And he is a fairly squishy hero if he doesn't have his Flame Guard up. Sorry for sounds, by the way. I don't know if you actually hear background noise, but there's an animal that is actually not sleeping at the moment, so he's trying to throw stuff off my desk. Dazzle still getting removed from the pool, at least banned out by NEXT.kz. Understandable in a way. I mean, you want to have a Dazzle next to your Ember, but at the same time, you need something that is safer on your dual lane, because with a Chen going into the jungle, you're going to run a core hero that needs to have something with him that is something different than a Dazzle, something that is more secure, something like, for example, either a Shadow Demon or even a Rubik or one of those type of heroes.
they need a hero that's very solid in the lane that can do a lot of different things. I think another good option for them is, it's possibly not quite as much health. I was gonna say Venomancer, because Venomancer is great for harassing people out. He basically means that your safe laner has free farm. Venomancer is a guarantee, pretty much, that your safe lane has free farm, because unless they go aggressive tri-lane versus you, if you just pick up Poison Sting level 1 and you just hit people, almost any offlaner in the game can do nothing versus a Venomancer with Poison Sting level 1. There's a couple of exceptions to that, obviously Invis heroes, and, if you can hide in the trees, things like that, but if the Venomancer finds you and he just hits you a few times, there's not much you could do as far as contesting the lane. So I think this is a smart pickup for them. That said, we don't know if that Ember is going to be safe lane yet. I think it probably makes a little bit more sense for them so far, because you don't want to put him up versus Invoker. He struggles no matter what build the Invoker goes for. So they could run in mid, but I think safe lane is probably the best option.
Yeah, one of the things I'm kind of worried about for NEXT.kz at this point is the lack of disable. I mean, yeah, Venomancer is a nice hero, so is Chen, but Chen has to get lucky with creeps if he wants to have a disable, and Ember Spirit, sure, he has a disable, but he's not really going to be part of fights very early on, and it's not really going to do as much as, for example, support with a stun could do. If you want to, for example, try to punish Invoker and Lycan for being fairly passive heroes at the start of the game, then Venomancer can be okay, but you need something with a disable following up on that Gale. Something from the Chen, of course, would be ideal, but for now, you have to let that rely on luck, and you don't really want to let stuff like that rely on luck. I like the Crystal Main pickup, though. We haven't seen her in a while, or at least she has not been that popular in a while, as she got kind of ignored, and Hazy Deprivation and Dazzle took over the lead of supports. Both of those are, of course, banned out. Aware still have a chance to send something in the jungle if they want to. Oh, whoa, Axe as one of the cores.
Interesting.
It's not unheard of that we see an Axe, but an Axe when we have got a Chen in the
This
jungle.
might be solo mid. I think this might be a solo mid Axe. It could be an offlane, which I think is probably the more likely role to put it in, but it could be. Because the thing is right now, you said it already, they need disables, and Axe is very good at getting that, but one problem that Axe can have is that he's a hardcore initiator. He does nothing but jump into the middle of the enemy team. He provides no real utility, so if he gets behind, or if he struggles a little bit, if he doesn't get fast blink dagger, if he doesn't get enough survivability early, he just jumps in and immediately dies. So I think they have to put this Axe into the middle lane, unless they want to run it on the off lane, but that's very dangerous to do, because like I said, if he gets shut down, he'll be useless. He'll be completely crushed, especially in a game with a Lycan, who really doesn't care about him very much. I mean, you initiate on a Lycan and Lycan just cuts you in half. But yeah, I mean, Crystal Maiden picked up for Aware Gaming is it's a solid choice. The thing with Crystal Maiden is we don't see her as much now because she's just not quite unique as far as the abilities that she comes with, but she's very, her abilities are very solid. She comes with 2 disables, which is something fairly rare for any support really, or any hero in Dota. I mean, a few have more than that, but they don't exactly have them level 2. Invoker is not going to be hitting you with 2 different stuns at level 2, maybe later on in the game, yes, but right now, I would say I'm a little bit more confident in Aware's lineup. I want to see what this last pick is going to be, though, for NEXT.kz, because it could be completely game-changing if they decide to go for something that works with this lineup now. It's very hard to do, though.
I would actually not mind to see a Darkseer being picked up by NEXT.kz. Put that one on the off lane. And then, as you said, X mid, Ember on the safe lane. It could even go for Nature's Prophet, though it's not really ideal. But a Darkseer is one of those heroes that can be very annoying to Lycan. And can
I think Darkseer makes a lot of sense as well. And it also means that they have the possibility, now it's not easy to execute, but you can vac people into Axe. You can vac, and you could get a 5-man Berserker's Call like that, which is a pretty rare occurrence because Berserker's Call is pretty much melee range, so yeah, I think Darkseer would certainly make a lot of sense for NEXT.kz. They haven't picked it up yet. It's certainly not banned out. The thing with Darkseer is he does take a fair amount of time to come online, and it is going to be the Axe on the off lane then, and either the Shadow Shaman or the Veno in the middle lane. I think I'm interested to see this, because if they play the Veno there, then he'll be much more defensive, but the Shadow Shaman has better offensive ability. I think probably the Shadow Shaman will go into the solo mid role here.
I would hope so. That would be fun. Venomancer can be going on an offlane as well. Have to keep that in mind. Venomancer can fulfill multiple roles.
It's I don't know if I versus a Crystal Maiden Lycan. If she's ever out of and Disruptor, if he's ever been out of position, he's going to end up out of position because of Glimpse. It's incredibly risky to do. I mean, it's already risky for this Axe. At the very least, Crystal Maiden and Disruptor don't do a huge amount versus Axe, because they don't have much damage, but, I mean, level 1 Thunderstrike can be dropped on Axe a few times, and that'll drop his health low, because Thunderstrike is one of the most ridiculous abilities when you actually look at how much damage it does over time. It does 400 damage when you max it out, which is way above the average for a nuke, but his other spells are so good, and he's a very skill-reliant hero. Disruptor is a difficult hero to play, but I think it's an interesting option for them. It's very good versus Ember Spirit as well, because you can drop that Static Storm and the Kinetic Field on his Remnant when he goes out and uses Sleight of Fist, and there's nothing he can do. He's going to end up back at that Remnant, and he's going to get silenced. He's going to get killed, probably.
True. Aware, need one more hero. Now, Disruptor and Crystal Maiden are indeed very active early game supports. They can do a lot. They can make a lot happen. A lot of damage output, a lot of control over the heroes as well. I was actually thinking, like, if to just complete my train of thought, I was not thinking Timbersaw, even though I could have totally made up that I was. But I'm not like that. I was actually thinking something that could maybe be doing a lot more early on in the game. Because right now, I mean, if they don't have success...
They've got to rely on their supports right now. NEXT.kz, on the other hand, are okay with sitting back and farming. Both teams are to an extent, but... Yeah, I think NEXT.kz possibly a little bit stronger as far as very early game concerned, just because, I mean, they're running, for instance, a farming Shadow Shaman, which can very, very quickly, with a little bit of help, get himself some kills on that Invoker. And this Timbersaw, he's one of the few heroes that maybe can cope with the Venomancer, but he's still going to hate his laning stage. He's not going to get very much.
Yeah, I agree. But we are going to see Shadow Shaman farming. That's good. That is good. It's fun to watch. That's the point. And we are looking for fun matches to watch, which is, of course, why you were watching the CIS tournament. It is the Excellent Moscow Cup with 10 teams by now. I guess, with the head no longer being a team.
What happened to VP? Are they actually gone?
Nothing is official yet, so I don't know.
Alright, because they had a super secret meeting at midnight. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about
it. They had a midnight super secret meeting.
Well, apparently
that's like legitimately what it is.
Secret.
How creepy is that sounding? Well, it's not secret, but it's like...
Well, you know
that's some Dracula stuff right there. Now we're going to find out that that's the reason they struggle with the games. It's because they don't want to play in sunlight.
Yeah, no,
What do you think of my theory?
No, I think your theory might be slightly overfetched.
Okay.
But doesn't matter. CAS Dota right here. So NEXT.kz versus Aware, best of 1. It's the round robin group stage. So far, Aware is not doing all too well. They have got 6 games played rather. This is their 7th game, and they have got 1 win, 5 losses. NEXT.kz is doing a bit better. But it's only a bit. It is 5 games played for them with 3 losses and 2 wins. So they kind of want to get ahead there as well. It's pun. Actually, that wasn't a pun because it was Aware.
Ahead is gone.
Yeah.
This is Aware. They're aware of their position in the leaderboards.
That was so close. Yeah, but so far, these 2 teams, they need their wins. It's definitely not hopeless, at least not for NEXT.kz. For Aware, maybe slightly more so. But with Virtus Pro having some issues, the chances for NEXT.kz are starting to look a little bit up again. But for example, like, there's only 4 teams that make it to the LAN final. So you've got teams like Empire that are still doing really well. Have still got a lot of matches to play. Rockskiss, same story there. Relax, Power Rangers. And then you've got Meteor Makers that hasn't dropped a single game yet and already played 7 out of their 10 matches, which is quite good. So
Meteor Makers is a shoo-in at this point, right? Like, we know that they're in the finals, yeah.
Yes.
So they have to be with 7 wins out of 10 games. And be like, how could they lose that one?
Yeah, they cannot.
Do the bit of the maths there.
They cannot anymore. Let's take a look at who's playing what. We have Reeves playing the Venomancer. He's supporting on it and will be able to pick up a double damage rune if he wants it, which he probably does. Stylecat will play the Axe. It's an off-lane Axe for the moment. He will be supported by that Venomancer. Looks like we're going to have a dual lane top and then a solo lane bottom with Mantis solo laning on the Shadow Shaman. Mid lane still going to be Ember, Wadafaka playing the Ember Spirit. And of course Chen will be in the jungle as a weird dual lane coming out from Aware, but I'll let you talk about that. It is going to be ASD playing the Chen, who I'm going to assume is equal. But I'm not entirely sure if that is actually equal.
I think Equal has ran under the name ASD before, but like you said, weird lanes overall for the team. Already on NEXT.kz, they've got unusual lanes with the Shadow Shaman safe lane, but on the side of Aware, we actually have a dual lane mid here. It's Seema the Slayer, he's going to be on the Lycan. Crystal Maiden, played by Roger. Up on the top, it's going to be Stress, he's the Disruptor here. The carry for the team, apparently, it's Lolik. He's on the Invoker. He's not really the carry for the team, he's still playing Invoker, but... And then on the off lane, it is going to be Hakon. He's on the Timbersaw with the very confusing name here. He's going 1v1 versus Mantis, which is not a lane you would normally see. In fact, these lanes are all over the place for these teams.
Yes. They are renewing the meta. I have to say, I'm a bit interested about the Shadow Shaman lane up against the Timbersaw. It's not a strength hero, so the harassment coming out from Hakon is not as strong as it sometimes might be. But at the same time, look at how careful Mantis is the whole time. Mantis is sitting on 6 last hit, while Hakon is sitting on 6 as well. It's very even. And the later this goes, I would actually put it slightly in favor of Mantis. Not because of the killing potential. Actually, looking at this, how this is going, the killing potential might definitely be there. I mean, screw that armor if you just got yourself an ether shock there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult lane for Mantis. He's not a great right clicker, but then neither is there's Timbersaw. So as far as last hits should go, he should possibly have an advantage, but Timbersaw is hard to kill, especially if he gets the creep wave in his favor, so Mantis has to be a little bit careful, because the thing is, he's very slow, he's very squishy, he has basically no armor, although he's actually bought Basilius, so he's got plenty. So, yeah, I think this is an interesting lane matchup. I guess maybe this is something that NEXT.kz have theory crafted, or that they've practiced with, because otherwise, I don't think many teams would have the guts to put a Shadow Shaman, who's a very vulnerable hero, versus Timbersaw, who's known for high maneuverability and damage, but speaking of which, on the top lane.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have our first blood right here. One more hit needed to kill off Stress, and that is gonna be your first blood. Well, Reeves actually lives. That's gonna be a good one for him. In the meantime, it's not over just yet. Invoker is gonna go on Stalker, but those swipes! Oh my god, spins! Lucky spins! An entire creep wave bashing on Stalker to give him the counter. He looks nice. Thunder Strike still coming out, but Reeves comes back. He has actually a Gale. So if Stress wanted to move forward, then that might have been trouble for him. Looks like both of NEXT.kz's players will leave this lane alive. Same might not be said by Crystal Maiden though, because she is, or for Crystal Maiden, about Crystal Maiden. She's getting chased down. Chains are gonna be there. That's a kill right there. What the fuck gets the Crystal Maiden. And 3-0 all of a sudden.
Yeah, and suddenly Aware of falling behind in this, despite some very interesting lanes. The thing is that the Axe did a great job on the top lane there. He actually purposely fought when there was a over one creep wave there. There was actually half the creep wave he previously got. Yeah, and now he's going to ball out of control in this lane. Aware, they either need to make some rotations with both their supports to try and kill him off, or they need to completely change their lanes, possibly even move the Lycan out of there, because... To be honest, I'm not sure why they decided to put the Lycan and the Crystal Maiden mid, because Invoker does very well in a 1v1 matchup, and
Starcat's gonna get picked up.
Not
this
enough
is just
of a helicopter.
Greed, pure greed coming out from this Axe. And he's not gonna get the kill on Stress either. Stress is gonna live. That was just greed. At least Reeves lives. He walked back to base. Not gonna help his teammate there. Needed to walk back to base too. Was quite low from the Disruptor earlier. As Roger is actually by himself now on this middle lane. We do have the Lycan going for the Haste Rune. I'm quite surprised to see that it is actually the Lycan trying to go for the rune control rather than the Crystal Maiden.
Well, I understand why that'd be surprising, but the thing is that Crystal Maiden literally just went for the rune control, and if Watafucker's there, she'll just die. So I understand why that's a little bit unusual, but I think it makes sense to actually send the Lycan, because the thing is, he's a lot tankier, he's got more armor, more HP, he moves a fair amount faster, so he's even got the stout shields as well. So the thing is that if he goes for the runes and he gets caught by Watafucker, he just man-fights him. If the Crystal Maiden gets caught, she just dies. So I think it makes a lot of sense, but really they need these supports top, because Stylecat, I mean, he may have just given away a kill, but he's level 6 and we're 5 minutes in. This is incredibly dangerous. You need to stop an Axe at this point. I was worrying before in the drafting phase about how bad Axe is when behind. Well, he's great when he's ahead.
Yeah,
total
that's
opposite.
why
He's definitely a snowball hero.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's also quite scary. I mean, regardless of the Axe being very big right now, at least compared to the rest of his peers, this Invoker is not getting anything. And you need Invoker to do well. That's the whole thing about Invoker. You put him mid so he gets fast levels because he needs those levels, and he's not getting anything right now, and the levels that he does get, he has to share with Stress.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not the only lane that's going bad for them. This Ember Spirit, he's not been properly shut down in the middle lane. The Crystal Maiden Lycan dual lane that was meant to deal with him didn't do very much. And on the bottom lane, Mantis is doing well.
Oh,
the only
not
saving
just
grace
well.
for them
Look
is
at the-
that
look at the
ASD has no
Titan.
levels.
Is
Who am I looking at? I can't see your camera because I'm an idiot.
Sorry, I said Titan, but I meant Timber. Like, as you said,
Oh, yeah.
Mantis is doing well. And I just checked. Oh, wait a second. We do have the rotation that you wanted to see. We have Reeves in some trouble. He whiffs the Gale, gets frostbitten, panic all over, and Reeves dies. Stalcat.
It doesn't even matter if he hits the Gale there. It's only a level 1 Gale. It won't do any damage. It's not going to hurt anybody whether it hits him or not. So, I mean, unlucky for him, but it's better for him to absorb that gank, I think, than Stalcat, because they need him to get ahead, and they need him to start getting these kills. He's actually decided to max out the battle hunger here, so this is a very early game orientated fight, and actually on the bottom lane, despite doing badly in the lane, this is my fear. Timbersaw, very dangerous hero, lots of burst damage, and, well, Shadow Shaman's really slow, so he dies.
He had an Invis rune, just waiting for the right positioning, making sure that all the burst damage that you mentioned were gonna get picked up. Oh, Stalcat. He finds himself a Lycan. What a tasty little bite that is. It's Wolf still running for it though. Roger coming in, thinking about coming in, making the wise decision to back off. Stalcat, same story, because you never know how that engagement is gonna go. It might be super lucky with the helixes. Oh, Seema. Careful there.
He's okay. He's got a bottle. He's going to regen
but
up,
one
but
battle hunger.
he doesn't want to
Battle
come
hunger's
back.
level 3.
Yeah,
There's a
he'll
wolf
probably
there.
make it back to base though, even if that happens. I mean, I don't know. Battle Hunger does a lot less damage than it used to. It's actually the only thing that it was one of the biggest changes about Axe, that he got Battle Hunger nerfed and then he suddenly started getting picked. But well, it's not the only change. It's the fact that Culling Blade is so much better than it used to be. But looks like we're going to see a push here on the bottom lane. Reeves is up with Mantis, the two of the 3 best heroes for pushing, and Roger did not like getting left.
Oh, Mantis in some trouble. Tornado gonna be used and Mantis will drop. Reeves is gonna get sent back home, but it looks like he'll go down before he actually will make it there. Chen, equal, will try to do what he can before he dies, but die he will. A bit of over-aggression coming up from Mantis. They've still got the tower, which is great. But they were just a little bit too greedy. And just bad positioning, to be honest. They tried to force Aware away from the tier 1 tower to make sure that the wards wouldn't go down. But it, yeah, it turned out to be a bit of a bad move.
Yeah, I think generally having the wards on your side of things makes it a little bit easier to actually defend yourselves when the enemy team comes, to be honest, because you don't want to be sitting right underneath the tower. It's just not great as far as positioning, and yeah, they lose 3 people for that, but they do still get the tower. It's not exactly worth it, but it you know, it's not that bad, and considering Aware are fairly far behind, despite the kill advantage, I mean, I say things are going pretty well for NEXT.kz right now. Especially because they are really just free farming on a few heroes now. The Axe is right up there as far as net worth. He's just get himself a dunk on the top lane.
Yeah, it looks like he is looking for some more counter helixes. Let's see how lucky he's going to get. He's getting chased down by the wolf. One more hit to go down. It's like Stalcat's going to be having... Oh, nice hex. Shackle. Glimpse. Glimpse on Stalcat. Stalcat frostbitten and dead still. But in comes Motherfucker, actually. He leaves his lane. Let's see if he can make something happen. He has got another Slay of Fist. We'll be able to use it there. Cold Snap gonna come off of him up as well. He has to be careful there. And he will actually be in a lot of trouble. He'll probably drop here as well. As we still see Roger. Oh my god, he makes it out on 4 health. 1 Slay of Fist and he would actually get a kill, but he doesn't get it. Doesn't move the right direction.
Motherfucker didn't know where he was. He was trying to see if he was in the base, but yeah, he goes down for that. And to be honest, I mean, you sounded surprised when he'd moved his lane. This is why this build is dangerous to use. He's going the max Sleight of Fist, max Searing Chains build. So he's no Flame Guard, which means if he's even slightly out of position or out of mana, he's dead. 100%. Every single time. It just doesn't matter. Because it's not like Aware don't have any physical damage, and they do have good lockdown as well. So, and they even have ways of chasing him down. They have the max Glimpse out now on this Disruptor, so things seem to be turning around, but maybe not for Hakon. He's in the middle lane here.
Oh, Mechanism coming out, Hand of God as well, keeping Mantis alive a little bit longer, but it's still dropping fairly fast, and a Glim is back in tower range. That should be another kill. Going to the Timber Saw, Chen picked up as well. Tower will still go down, looks like it will get denied though, Lycan nicely done. And free gold for everybody if they kill off the wards. It's just starting to get like NEXT.kz. They're still doing well, and they got now two tier 1 towers, which is great, but they're giving up a lot for it. Ooh, nice searing change, but he can't
It
go
looks
in
cool,
it.
but it doesn't actually do anything
If
to
there
them
was
there,
a
so.
flame guard, if he had level 4 flame guard, that would have been a double
He could have
kill.
gone in, yeah. He would have been able to go in and get those kills. I mean, Sleight of Fist wouldn't have done as much, but I mean, Flame Guard is just more DPS, especially at this stage of the game where he doesn't have any items to actually back up his Flame Guard. I mean, he's got Phase. That's it. That's all that actually helps his Sleight of Fist do damage. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Aware, they're getting a lot considering how big NEXT.kz's advantage is. The thing is, if you look at the net worth of the heroes right now, top 3 are all on the side of NEXT.kz and are all a fair amount ahead as well. Even Mantis is a good 700 gold ahead of where Lycan is. And I mean, this is 11 minutes in. Lycan doesn't have his Vlads yet. He's not even close, really. So it is looking pretty bad for them. But the thing is it seems like Aware almost don't care. I mean, they just took a pretty big fight in the middle lane with a massive item disadvantage.
I have to say, Mantis, you know when we saw him die first time when Hakon got that Invis rune, and he just, you know, that was when they were still a 1 versus 1. He has now died 5 times.
Welcome to Shadow Shaman, the slowest hero in Dota, well, one of the slowest heroes in Dota, and he just has no survivability. He just dies really quick. It's just part of how things go. It's a very dangerous hero to run because he needs to be on the front line to use any of his spells. He needs to stand still to use shackles, so he gets killed pretty easily. I mean, yeah, he is dying a fair amount though, considering he's safe lane farm. The nice thing is that Watafaka isn't. I mean, Watafaka's had his first death. He might have his second here though. Oh, he just managed to get out.
Yeah, close one. Jumps himself towards his Remnant, there we go again. Tornado might still pick him up. Nope, he's able to dodge it, and he makes it alive. The haste rune Timber Saw. Not enough to chase him down. That was too close, to be honest. Good
yeah, he
movement
needs
from
to
Aware,
be.
though.
I feel like he needs to be the one in the safe lane now, and Mantis needs to be the one fighting with them, because it feels like every time Mantis is dying, it's because he's sort of out of position. Whereas if he's got the Chen behind him, you know, he's much less likely to die if he's with the rest of his team. If he's with the Axe in particular, who can, I mean, purposely take all the damage from him. He's one of the few tanks in Dota. He can actually taunt the enemy. So, yeah, I feel like they need to work with their Axe and just give Watafaka time to farm. Because the thing is Watafaka, he's gone for the later game build, the sort of Arteezy popularized build, I guess. I don't know exactly who came up with the build first, but it's certainly popularized by him, and it's not as good at fighting, especially without items, and especially at this stage of the game. He's got 900 HP and 6 armor, and that's with him being next to a Basilius. So he's got 4 armor in reality. Yeah. He's not a tanky hero by any stretch, and he doesn't do any damage either.
It's just pretty troublesome at this point, as in for both teams something can be said, right? Because you got yourself a lineup. Oh, wait a second, Tornado. Just slowing things down. Nice EMP though. But on one side you got yourself.
Watafaka dodged it.
Yeah. Mantis did not, but he's already placed his boards anyway. Nice jump in. That's gonna be Lolik dead. Static field, kinetic storm. I don't know, vice versa. Whoa, nukes coming out. Hakon getting himself the Shadow Shaman. The Shadow Shaman, of course, already did his work, placed his boards. Hakon still taking a bit of damage, but forced back. In the meantime, Lycan is able to take down his first tower as well. So that was the point that I was gonna make. You got a lineup that has a Lycan, for which you need to start making something work right now. So pushing down towers, getting the Roshan, which he could already do if he wants to. If he feels like
he's got to be careful about it. He just has to wait until this Venomance was gone, and because actually they don't have a ward down that spots anyone going into the Roche from this left-hand side. If he goes up from the right, from the Ancients, from where Roger is standing now, he will. But he's smoked up. He's going to go and summon wolves and do this, but maybe Roger has been spotted out. It doesn't look like he's been spotted out by anything, but yeah, Reeves is caught on already to what they're actually doing, so yeah, Seema the Slayer, he'll just back out of this, because to be honest, you never really want to fight in the Roche pit if you're the ones in the Roche pit first, because it's almost always going to end up badly for you.
Especially if you've got an axe with a blink dagger being able to jump on you at any point. It's just not fun.
Definitely. Their initiation range is very strong, and they have a lot that can follow up on it as well. Pop down the wards. They have a lot of damage coming out from that Shadow Shaman at this stage. So yeah, I think avoid taking the Roche fight. It's better to you know, play it safe in this sort of instance, because it's not like Aware are doing that badly from this point on, and they do have this opportunity to do other options other than just fight right now. They can split push, they can go for other things, and maybe that's what they're going to try and do. Seeming the Slayer, he is on the bottom lane right now. He's decided to pick up his treads, and it looks like he'll try and push down this tower, but I think he's waiting until NEXT.kz actually show themselves properly on the map and commit to something.
Yeah.
Because right now, neither team are actually committing to anything. Both teams are just sort of sitting across a river from each other, farming and looking at the other menacing.
Ooh, Invis Rune. Lucky him. Is there detection? They know where he is. They're just oh my god, they're just gonna kill him off right there.
Yeah, Tornado dispels runes, and
yeah,
that's one of the scariest things actually about Invoker, because if you get caught out in the wrong position, you're like, oh yeah, I've got a rune to save me, and that'll dispel it, and yeah, he dies from that anyway. So, I mean, even without the dispel there, he might have died anyway, because they dropped a ton of AoE on him.
I think so too.
They dropped the Kinetic Field Static Storm.
And
I mean,
the Crystal Maiden ult. Like, there was
nowhere to go. Did they drop the Crystal Maiden ult as well?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, they did. That's a lot of ults. That's some serious hate on Mantis. I mean, he's got a lot of deaths this game, but the thing about Shadow Shaman is that he's fairly fast at farming. He can air the shock waves. He gets towers pretty easily with wards, so he's going to farm okay anyway. I mean, he's he's over halfway done to his Aghanims. He's not got a blink or anything, but it's not a bad situation for him. Even though he's dying a ton, it's not like it's terrible. Mostly it's just feeding the enemy gold, though. That's the problem.
And at this point, his net worth is starting to fall behind real fast in comparison to what he was before. He's actually at the same level as the Chen is, which is probably to say that Chen is doing really well, because he is, even though he's not been involved in any of the kills right now, which is kind of weird. But that's what you get for healing people, I guess. But at the same time...
Chen just doesn't fit their lineup in some ways as far as kills is concerned, because Chen is not a great killer. He's kind of useful for early game ganks, but they didn't have anyone they could really gank, so... I feel like the Chen is literally just a healer this game, which is not the ideal situation, but they're getting a push done now.
Yeah. Well, it should be the tower. Lolik might be able to get some creeps out of this. Maybe some wards, but their tower's already dead. Tornado, still gonna pick up 2. They're still gonna try to go for this nuke damage up on 2. Mantis trying to get away. Doesn't have anything. Kinetic Field, Static Storm locking in. What the fuck? A Shadow Shaman already picked up. What the fuck is second. And the other 2 are running for their lives, the 2 supports. Every time they get a tower, they lose so much in return for it, and that starts to get kind of worrisome, troublesome. Is because on one side, like, I normally try to also look at which period of the game are the teams best at compared to lineup. So on one hand, you got yourself a lineup with the Lycan, who does well at 20 to 40 minutes, I would want to say. Maybe 25 to 35, if you want to make it a little bit shorter.
He's great all the time. No, yeah, I get what you mean. He's more of a sort of mid to late game pusher though, more than anything. He's not great at doing it sort of level 1, level 2, level 3. He's terrible at that stage, and even going into the mid game, he doesn't want to do it too much because he can get bursted down. Yeah. So yeah, it's more of a sort of, you know, once he's got a few items up, and at this stage he's not very strong, but I mean, like you said, every time the NEXT.kz go for a push, they get Aware just get something off it. I mean, they just took down all the wards. They lost their tower, but they also took Roshan. They got a kill on Watafaka again, and it seems like Axe has just died on the bottom lane as well. Yeah.
So the Timber saw picking him up. On the other side, NEXT.kz, they've got that Ember Spirit, which is better late game than Lycan is. If you make him incredibly fat, as we saw over the weekend. It's a bit scary. So at this point of the game, I feel like NEXT.kz has done what they're best at, taking early towers. Though they are starting to lose ground fast. They're starting to make trades while they shouldn't be doing that. And from this point onward, Aware should be the one to be ahead based on lineup. And so, depending on how much they can actually do in the coming 10 minutes, this game is absolutely theirs. As Stalkat's actually in a lot of trouble right here. He's gonna try to run, but the Cold Snap's still there. Galim's back there as well inside the Kinetic Field. That's gonna be Stalkat picked up. Hakon on the mega kill, and this Timbersaw, he is doing really well. Might not be getting that many last hits early on in the game, but he is quite scary if you ask me. Second highest for his team on net worth, 3rd highest in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, part of that is kind of the lineup that NEXT.kz have. Their only hero with much in the way of survivability is the Axe, and obviously Timbersaw does fairly well as far as damage versus Axe. Everybody else is pretty squishy. and pretty easy to catch out. The only one who maybe has an escape is Ember Spirit, and I mean, this Ember Spirit didn't go for early levels of Flame Guard. He can Remnant out of there, but they have a Quaswex Invoker, so a lot of the time this Ember Spirit finds himself either using up all his Remnants to dodge the EMP, or getting caught in the EMP and having no mana either way. So yeah, Hakon is having a good time on the Timbersaw here. He's now up on the top lane, and again, wards dropped and just immediately farmed up by the side of Aware. This is like a chronic problem for them, because these wards are not like just a little bit of gold. This is way more than a creep wave is worth.
Yeah. And on top of that, we soon will have some more tanky wards, I guess. Shadow Shaman picks up an Aghanims. First item, completely done. I am still kind of worried about them, though. I mean, it's just such a tricky combination. We have got the gold graph going back towards the 0 line. Experience graph way far in the favor of Aware, but that's understandable since they are 10 kills ahead. They are still 3 towers behind, so imagine that they are right now only 1k gold behind. How much gold will they be ahead when they get that those 3 towers to make things even again? And at this point, I wonder, will they actually stop at 3, because they look very strong. They've got themselves the Lycan with
NEXT.kz
the
are all
Necro
here,
as
though.
well.
This is going to be a big team fight if either team decides to take this. It looks like Aware actually don't want to, though. The thing is they have a Lycan, so if they want to, they can just avoid the fights and go and hit a different tower if they need to, because he's incredibly hard for NEXT.kz to actually get a kill on. And as far as lockdown they have, only the Shadow Shaman and the Axe really have much that's going to hold him for a duration of time. The Ember Spirit can, but it's very difficult for him to get up there with the Wolves in as well. There's only a sort of 50-50 chance that he's actually going to manage to hit him. If the Wolves are next to Seema, the bowlers might just randomly go to both of the Wolves. That's just, I mean, part of RNG. It's just how it works. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting situation, because the thing is as well is that normally you'd be like, okay, Aware is on a serious timer, they need to get more stuff done right now because of the Ember Spirit, but Ember Spirit hasn't really got any farm. In fact, what the fucker, yeah, and there's all his mana gone again. He does get it all back up
Mana
for the
boots
supports,
for everybody.
I mean,
There's 3
it makes a
mana
lot of
boots
sense in a
team.
game like this. It makes a lot of sense, because he uses up a lot of mana, and they're going up against a Quaswex Invoker. Lycan is getting a Necro book as well, so they have plenty of ways of burning that mana, and Ember Spirit's probably one of the more mana-reliant carries in the game. He's pretty much the same as far as Storm Spirit is concerned, as far as how much mana he needs, and alright, they don't like wolves. Apparently Stallcat really hates wolves.
Hakon, he jumps in. He might be in some trouble. Where's the Hex? Is it gonna be there? There it is. A glimpse still coming back. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, locking in 2. Can Seema actually do some damage here? Yes, he can. What the fuck, as well as Benno dropped. Invoker going down to the other side in the meantime. Hakon's still alive in this. Well, Mantis shackles up Seema. So close, the chop comes out, or is it not? No, it was actually on cooldown. But doesn't matter. They at least get that Aegis out of the way. Seema is back alive, though, as we are gonna see Stress dead. Waterfucker with a double kill. 3 for 2 for the moment, as Seema is trying to run. He's no longer in wolf form. Looks like he'll make it out, though, as the Blink Dagger of Stallcat constantly on cooldown by the wolves. I have to say, I thought that fight was not going to go well for NEXT.kz, but it went a lot better than expected.
Yeah, great initiation from Aware. They managed to catch out the Ember Spirit as well as, I believe, the Venomancer. And Seema the Slayer just crushed them instantly. I mean, mass physical damage hurts both those heroes. Neither of them have much in the way of HP. Not great armor either, so he just cut through them like a knife through hot butter. Or a hot knife through butter. I mean, both of the objects in this situation were very hot.
Did you
and
say
got
hot
cut
butter?
Very quickly. Yeah, hot butter. But he cut through them there, and honestly, the only thing that saved that fight for NEXT.kz was a big buyback from Waterfucker, which turned things around, but it does cost him. He ended up getting more gold from it, so very worthwhile buyback from Waterfucker, but it does mean he doesn't have it for another 5 minutes, which I don't think will hurt him too much, but if Aware want to, they can try and just go, okay, we're going to force this tower now, or we're going to get a pick off on Waterfucker, and there's nothing NEXT.kz can do to defend really without him, because the damage on pretty much everybody else is starting to fall off. Axe at this point is nothing more than just an initiator. His spins don't do very much. His Culling Blade is useful, but it's mostly just fancy looking, and Ember is the backbone of their team right now. The wards are very nice as well, but there's no maneuverability on the Shadow Shamans. He can't initiate, he can't move about the fight. He's trying to get a Force Staff, but Yeah, they're very reliant on Watafucker at this point, although he has picked up his first Crystallis, so... I mean, he's trying to do what he can as far as farm is concerned, and he's farming up pretty well now, but previously he was struggling a lot in this game. I think that one buyback really did just turn things around for him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm also thinking that the best play for NEXT.kz right now is, even though it sounds kind of stale, is to not fight, defend their towers, and hope that Aware makes mistakes that they can profit from, but... Like, right now, if they would take a fight, either Aware is going to fight back, and Hakon is pretty big, so he can probably take some kills in return. Or, Lycan will take towers. And they can't afford to lose towers at this point in the game. It's too risky to have an opening somewhere where a Lycan could split push your base.
Yeah, exposing a Rax to a Lycan is one of the worst things that can happen to you, pretty much. And he's got a full Necro 3 as well. So he's gone the split push build, he's gone the Rat Dota build. He's still team fighting with his team pretty damn well. I mean, we saw him in the last fight cut 2 people just in half in a matter of seconds, but... Yeah, I have to agree with you. Right now, NEXT.kz, they just need to play the turtle game, and it's not hard for them to do. They have a lot of heroes who are pretty good at it, particularly Watafucker, who, if you spam out that Sleight of Fist with these sorts of items, you're going to cut creep waves down pretty fast. Any push that comes out from the side of Aware is going to fall flat on its face, pretty much, even with the mechanism on their team.
NEXT.kz is not listening to me.
They might be walking into a trap as well, because Aware almost look like they know where they're coming from. Yeah, this has been spotted out. The smoke is broken.
Yeah, let's see. Hakon still hexed up, still in some trouble. Might still go down before the fight even starts. One more hit needed to chop. He is still alive, and it's Venomancer, Ember, and Axe that all drop. Hakon lives, and it is Gen, last one surviving, getting glimpsed there, but I don't think it's going to save his life. Should have listened to me, NEXT.kz. Should have listened to me. That is a team wipe. And that's just... why you do not fight into Aware at this point. Let the push commence.
You need to be hired as their tactical advisor.
Yes.
Yeah, they just, I mean, they focus down the Timbersaw first. Already, that's a difficult fight for them to go at, but Aware were ready for them. It's like they knew where the smoke gank was coming from. I mean, obviously they didn't, but maybe they just sort of know a bit about how NEXT.kz work, because they went straight down the middle lane there, and Aware were all positioned on the high ground above them. And fighting up high ground is incredibly hard. Timbersaw in that fight got really low, and then the disable came off him. He jumped into the middle of the enemy team. He does a ton of burst damage. He managed to hit everybody with his Whirling Death as well, at least 3 people, and from that point on, the fight had already been lost, because they'd used everything they had on Hakon, and they're trying to do what they can to defend here, but Mantis might be caught out. They do have a lot of heals, though.
Why is everybody standing just in the chakram? But oh well. Denied suicide from Timbersaw, healing up his teammates so Lolik can get away, as well as the Crystal Maiden who just teleported out. This is fine as well. Good though, they threw everything on that fight. The wards were placed, Poison Nova came out, everything that you can think of was used there to make sure that Aware did not get any more towers. They got 3 towers over that entire fight. 1 fight was lost and 3 towers went down.
Oh Jesus, that is a huge turnaround for them. Lolik is going to have his Orchid now, if that is the item that he's building for. No, I think he's actually, yeah, he's going for a Refresher Orb here, Lolik. So this is going to be... He's skipping mid-game entirely, because Lolik, I mean, he had a terrible laning stage. He got a Blink Dagger, which is nice. I mean, it's a little bit unusual if you're behind as an Invoker to go Blink first, but, I mean, he seemed confident in it, and then he's just going to build up a straight Refresher Orb as his second item after that, so... I mean, with the levels that he's managed to pick up now, it will do a lot of damage, the combos that he can land with this. It's all just about execution, though, because he does still only have level 3 Invoke, so he kind of has to have his combo partly pre-invoked. So yeah. This is kind of an interesting situation for him, having a Refresher Orb before having even level 4 Invoke and an Aghanims as well. Yeah, I mean, how often... Refresher Orb is generally the last item that you get an Invoker when you really want to try and just say, okay guys, I'm going to try and team wipe them because they don't have BKBs right now.
Yeah, it's... I'm a bit worried for NEXT.kz. They cannot afford to lose fights in this stage of the game. They have to hold on. And a free
Roshan is going to Seaman the Slayer right now. Because at this stage of the game,
they cannot fight.
On the dire side, Lycan just kills Roshan in seconds. And like you said, yeah, they can't fight. They don't have any damage. And they just don't have enough. They walked into a fight a second ago. And I think they're pretty scared after that one because they got wiped very, very easily by the side of Aware. And they did a lot. They dropped everything they could on top of a Timbersaw. And then we're like, we can't kill the Timbersaw, guys. And then they lost the fight. Whatafaka, he is going to have his full Daedalus soon. But he's going to need, you know, at least one more Battle Fury on top of that to really start being at a point where he can hard carry.
Cold Snap, that wolf scouted him out.
Why
He's going to get picked off. Why are the wolves there would be a better question.
Apparently they knew Starcat was there, but how they predicted Starcat was there, I do not know. We're working with some serious ESP this game, but I mean, maybe he's just scouting out. Maybe they just noticed him going there and just saw that, you know, because the thing is it's become surprisingly common to see people trying to split push using blink daggers, and a lot of people have been caught. A lot of teams have been caught out by that. I think the first time we really saw it was with I think it was Demon standing in for some team as a Shadow Shaman, and he was split pushing the entire game as a Shadow Shaman. He never teamed, so maybe that's what they were thinking. They were thinking, oh, okay, we'll find a Shadow Shaman. Yeah, they won that game. And Demon played terrible. He like fed all game. It was horrible, but they split push with the Shadow Shaman and managed to take a Rax and win from there. But it was not exactly reliable. I'll say that. I mean, plenty of times he died a lot, but it was like a serious turtle strat though. It was not a sensible, normal type of thing. So maybe they were just looking for the Axe or the Shadow Shaman split pushing. But yeah, right now, I mean, they brought this game back from the brink of destruction. They looked like they were getting crushed early on, and Seaman the Slayer, he's now got a BKB, so no one can stop him with fights at this point. The only thing that can stop him is Berserker's Call, because that goes through BKB.
Yeah, and even that, I'm kind of worried. Ember Spirit.
Do you really want to call a Lycan?
What?
Is he going to kill you? That's the thing. Yeah. This Axe has to call a Lycan. And if you Berserkers call a Lycan...
So that helps.
That's pretty nice. That will help, but it won't do anything versus the BKB.
Yeah.
So he has to initiate on him when the BKB is up, or whether it's up or not. And then hope that Watafaka can do the damage.
Well, they do have a Blink Dagger on Mantis. So they can initiate with a Blink Hex, and that should be happening before a BKB gets popped.
Yeah, because it's instant cast time on the Hex. So yeah, I mean, it's doable, but the thing is, it's much easier for Aware at this point because they can go, oh, the situation has started bad for us. Our Invoker can throw off a load of spells. Oh, the situation has started bad for us. Seaman the Slayer has an Aegis. So right now, there's nothing that NEXT.kz can do. Literally nothing. They're just avoiding them right now, and looks like they're going top.
Yep, they already used the refresher as well. We saw 2 deafening blasts in a row. Looks like Reeve will get killed off there as well. 2 heroes picked up, Godlike on the Timbersaw, and Aware might be looking into their second win here if this continues this way. I mean, yeah, we're fighting next to their own base. But what's NEXT.kz gonna do? What the hell?
They can't go high ground.
They're being split pushed now as well. Fortification used by NEXT.kz.
Look at Watafaka struggle with these creeps as well. Look at the damage that he takes from that, and the mana damage he takes as well. It's insane.
He's a glass cannon.
It's very difficult for him to deal with. Yeah, he's a complete glass cannon of a hero, and that's pretty much the balancing factor at Ember Spirit, because he does do a ton of damage.
Well, there is a kill going on the Timbersaw. They got him top, with the Shadow Shaman himself being dead, but his wards were still there. So it was kind of a mistake.
They actually spent a fair amount to get that Timbersaw, but the thing is it really worth it? Timbersaw has had a Bloodstone. He's lost a fair amount of charges now. He's back onto the standard 8, but he's already respawned, and Axe is now down for 40 seconds. He doesn't have buyback. This might be the time that Aware just forced one lane of Rax. They just forced it down. They just throw everything at it, because, I mean, they still have their Aegis up on the Lycan. They still have great counter initiation as well. How are they actually going to stop him? I don't think they can stop him in a fight.
No way. Not with a BKB on anyways. Shadow Shaman is thinking, you know, Necronomicon units, they're quite good. I'm gonna build them too. And he could start that by just having... Reeves got scouted out, by the way. Yeah. He's still gonna be in trouble. Poison over. Gale tries to do what he can, but he'll still actually not die. Sunstrike?
Wow, Lolik. I think Lolik thought there was a bit more backup than there actually was there. And
no backup.
Well, Mantis was in the area, so... Yeah, I mean, I think that's a sensible decision from Lolik, but... I mean, He could maybe have gone for the Sunstrike
thought
or
he could
something.
have
Reed
gone
took
for
a
the
lot of
kill.
damage.
Yeah.
I think he could have gone for it, but he didn't have his refresher up, and he doesn't really want to use that anyway. It's such a long cooldown on that. I think the safe bet is to just do a ton of damage to Reeves, and the thing is Reeves used up his entire mana pool for that, so he's not really sustainable on the map right now. Although I said that before, and they have a ton of mana boots, so
Yeah.
they have a ton of arcane boots on pretty much every hero, so they are able to keep up their mana pretty well. But the real problem now is just if Aware decide to just go down one lane, because NEXT.kz's turtling ability is good, but Aware have everything they need to try and do this. They still have the Aegis up. It's probably going to time out soon. I feel like they need to do something with this Aegis, though, because the longer and longer this game goes,
Well, Aegis is
your
gone.
versus an Ember Spirit, and Ember Spirit's going to cut everybody up, and already, I mean, look at the damage Lolik just took. Lolik just took half his HP in, like, a sleight of fist, and some chains. That's pretty... that hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts a
So
lot.
we're coming back to the point that we made earlier, right? Where this game is basically a 3-part game, where in the early game NEXT.kz is ahead, the mid game to mid/late game, or late mid game to early late game. See what it there was awesome. Is in favor of Aware, and the very
Okay.
late game is in favor of NEXT.kz. So that's kind of like the 3 parts. And it seems like we're transitioning into the very late game part soon. I like this Ember will be enormous at
Ember
some
is by
point.
far the hardest carry in this game, and
Yes.
one of the more dangerous carries to go very late game as well against, because his turtling ability, when he has the right items on the high ground, is absolutely insane. You can kill off any creep wave if you have a couple of
Oh.
Battle Furies and a crit.
Stalcat. Mantis. Tornado gives a vision. Hello, Mantis. Welcome to hell.
Physical existence.
Blink away,
Starcat's got to be
Stalcat.
really scared right now.
Blink away, Stalcat.
He has a TP. Just TP. You've had more than enough time, Starcat. Oh, he's gonna try and split push. He's gonna try and block the creep wave and give them more time. This is actually sensible. Look at this. He's gonna wait. He's waiting for this next creep wave. Nobody else is here. He's gonna blink out of here, chop the creep wave,
There's an arrow.
and then get back in the trees. And
I
now
made
he's
the
gonna get
best
back into the
arrows.
trees. I can't see any of your arrows because I'm dumb and I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
get
you're
into
not
the
in
right
my
broadcaster
broadcaster
slot.
slot. Well, it wasn't really an arrow. It was more like a slurf.
But look at this now. Aware, they're going for a big push. They have a fairly big creep wave. And where's the reinforcements? The reinforcements are a minute away, so they're not going to be able to break high ground. Watafucker cuts off this creep wave, and the push is stopped. This is great play by Aware. Or, sorry, by the side of NEXT.kz, because they sacrificed their Shadow Shaman to do that, and I don't think Aware realized that both Shadow Shaman and Axe were doing it. This is some next level stuff. It does mean that you're going to die, but, I mean, your stats don't matter if at the end of the game you've won.
I 100% agree. Yeah, that's what
As
I
a
always
support player.
tell to my team as well. Like, we won, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. As a support player, the stats don't matter.
Yeah.
It's all about the winning.
I have a smoke up coming out from NEXT.kz. Now, the last time they went for smoke,
It did
They
not
died.
go well, and Roger's got an Invis rune. Do they have any detection? I don't think they do.
nope.
Oh no.
And Roger
There's
didn't
only
even
a sentry
see
ward
them.
on Reeves.
Like,
There's
that's the
only a
most
sentry ward on
frustrating.
Reeves. And they can't find him.
Nope.
So their smoke gank gets completely ruined by the fact that
Oh no, Jen is still smoked.
that's going to be real effective.
Yes!
Chen and the Venomancer. What are they going to do?
Support
Go smoke
power!
gank some creeps.
Well, they get a gem now as well. The gem, of course, unaware has been up for a while. The gem on the Crystal Maiden. So that will be nice. Just to get map control back, because right now map control is what it's all about. Control to actually be able to split push, be able to counter push, be able to creep cut if you want to try that, like we just saw Axe do. One thing that's also important again is the third Roshan. Now we've seen all Roshans going to Aware so far, and I don't think that this one is going to be any different. However, this is a Roshan with a cheese. So
Yeah, Roshan with cheese, that just gives them more ability to try and break the base. They might even put both on the Lycan if they had the spots for it.
yeah.
They don't, sadly, though, and interestingly enough, because of what NEXT.kz are doing, I think Lolik is now actually going to do the same. Yeah, he's now cutting the creeps himself, just to give them more time. Just to give them more time on the map and to cause a distraction. But, I mean, they do the Rosh so fast, it's not even a distraction. NEXT.kz just can't fight in the Roche Pit, to be honest. Not without a couple more items on Ember, who is almost up to his crit and is actually going after Stallcat here. Or, not after Stallcat, that's his teammate. He was going after Lolik, but Lolik is already TP'd out.
Yep. I want to point out that this Disruptor is absolutely fat. He is the fattest
Disruptor's
support.
played brilliantly as well.
Yes. He's had his Aghanims quite fast, and that was his first item. He went for Veil afterwards, solid item as well, wanted to point it out, but, you know, you don't really get the chance to do that all that much when there's fighting happening. But now he also has Boots of Travel, and I just want to point out that he is playing it brilliantly. He has good item progression, he knows how to find farm, which is probably the most brilliant part about it.
Yeah,
that again, he is
always
8 for
hard
2.
to do on supports, but
He's the second highest
he
kill.
is 8 for 2. He's definitely the
Never
stats
mind.
don't matter, guys. I'm a support.
Yep. The stats
Yeah, but
matter,
the thing
guys.
is
I'm
that-
a support. That's how that works.
Yeah, the
when
thing
that
is
happens.
Disruptor's great at farming just because of Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike is very good for getting you that bit of extra farm, and he's played brilliantly with the kinetic fields and the static storms, however you want to get them round. He's placed them brilliantly well in these fights, and he needs to, because otherwise they don't actually have a way of locking down the Ember Spirit for a long duration of time. They have to rely on the Invoker getting a big combo off on him, and, you know, a lot of that damage won't do very much, and so silence and something that could keep him in place is pretty essential. So Disruptor's been doing that job well. He does a load of extra damage with that Veil as well.
Yeah.
He is sort of going to start falling off, but the thing is he's still very useful because
That Static
NEXT.kz
Storm.
can't get BKBs, and Static Storm is always going to be a powerful spell.
Yeah. Especially to that Ember, and there's really nothing you can do at this point. If you're going for a Slay of Fist, and that Disruptor gets his ult off where your Remnant is, then you're
Then
gone.
you just die.
Yeah.
You just die. You have to have buyback. And that's what Watafaka had in the last fight, where he sort of turned his game around, and it's what he's saving up for now. He's got 5,000 gold, and he's still just saying, I really need to make sure I have buyback. He is going to try and buy up his Daedalus now. So this is his second Daedalus, double Battle Fury as well. Actually, no, just one Battle Fury so far, which is a little bit unusual.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm quite surprised to see only one Battle Fury coming out for him, especially with the Necronomicon units that are going to be on the map at some point. You want to be able to just get rid of them in one go, right?
Yeah, and only the initial hit, I believe, will actually put you with the feedback. Will actually give you the feedback damage. I think if you kill them with the initial hit, you get the feedback damage. At least that's how it's worked with Blade Mail. I don't know exactly how it works with Necronomicon. I might be wrong on that one. I think maybe it probably sounds more balanced if he does get hit with the feedback damage either way, though. So I don't know about that one, but he sold his Bracer now just so he can carry TPs, and it looks like they're finally ready to try and break the base. It's going to be on the bottom lane where they do this, but
Oh.
Wasafaka
They got an
is
Abyssal, an
already there.
Aegis,
They
and a
know.
Cheese.
That's a lot. That's
Yes.
definitely a lot. Who's the Cheese on? The Cheese is actually on the Timbersaw. Surprised it's not on the Invoker, because he's working with the big AoE super combo right now.
Oh, Hakon already jumping in. What the fuck is going to be the first target? He does have that buyback, will be forced to use it. There he goes. Buying back in the meantime, Seema has his BKB turned on. His Aegis still in there, still solid. They kill off the Axe. Axe buys back. Reeves still alive for the moment. Seema still has that Aegis. Now he'll lose it only. Hakon still there with his BKB turned on though. But the damage, is it actually enough to take him down? It doesn't look like it. The cheese was used. And now in comes Lolik. Deafening Blast. EMP. Lolik will be taking a fall though. He got killed off by the Blade Mill. So basically killed off by himself, as we do have Hakon in some trouble himself. He can still kill himself if he wants to, but he decides just not to die at all. Stress will go down, and actually he decides to still die in the end. They killed off the Lycan as well, even after the Aegis, and with the greediness of Aware, they dove past the racks.
I think that was a bit of an unusual situation there, because the thing is Aware were desperate to try and get hold of Watafaka there, but the problem is that their one hero who can really ensure they get a kill on him is a Disruptor, and Disruptor didn't get a chance to put a Kinetic Field and Static Storm on Watafaka after he'd bought back until right at the end of the fight, and by that time, Lycan had already died, so they got greedy. Yeah, that's definitely part of it, but the problem is that if they don't get greedy, Watafaka chops them all in half.
This is true.
From miles away, and they're never going to get on top of him, because Disruptor's just... I mean, he's got no real mobility item right now. He's got Boots of Travel, and he's got all this other stuff, which is nice, but it's almost like he needs a Blink or a Force Staff or something, just so he can get in there and try and make sure he gets Watafaka, because
He's rich
they
enough.
don't even have to kill him. They don't even have to kill him. If they'd have caught him out and
Just have to
held him in
control
place... they just control him, and then Lycan just eats your barracks up. Maybe you lose your barracks, maybe you lose your Lycan for it, maybe you lose your Disruptor, but in that fight they didn't get anything other than the tier 3. So, well, they did bring out buyback though on Ember Spirit, and
Axe
the
as
nice
well.
thing for Aware is that they have fairly low cooldowns on everything but the Refresher Orb, so Aware might just go for the base again now, because there is no buyback on What the Fucker, so if the fight goes the way it did just then, NEXT.kz would lose because they don't have
used
buyback.
both Aegis and Cheese in that fight.
That is true.
And it went
used
pretty
Aegis and
fast, to be
Cheese, and
honest,
that's
as
a lot.
well.
That's just the possibility that an Ember gets late game. If he gets crits on people, he can sit back, and it doesn't even matter that he doesn't auto-attack that much. It's their sleight of fisting, and yeah, I mean, I guess it's a difficult situation for both teams here, because Aware, they know they're on a time limit because they have to get something done soon, but the longer this game goes on, the worse the situation gets for them, because eventually an Ember Spirit can get to the point where he can just buy back and buy a Rapier every time he dies, and he'll still do more damage from further away in the fight than anybody else on the map can do.
Yeah, double Rapier, Ember Spirit, let's make it happen.
I honestly, at this point, if Aware had a bit more, I wouldn't have a problem with NEXT.kz buying a Rapier at this point, because this is that he just needs to sit in the back of the fight, and if he gets one lucky crit with a Rapier, he basically wins the entire fight with one sleight of fist. So it's definitely a possibility for him. He doesn't have buyback, so he's not really losing much by going for it, because, I mean, if he dies now anyway, they probably lose racks. Yeah, because Seaman the Slayer will just eat through their racks. I mean, it's the safest choice, but the safest choice is generally not the Ember Spirit way. Generally, that hero is all about just going mass damage, but I mean, they're trying to use these wolves here to scout out. Yeah, I mean, Aware are going to go for this again, I think. They're being a little bit more cautious, though, which I think is sensible, but they did just decide not to go in with the biggest creep wave you've ever seen, so they're definitely afraid.
I don't blame them, to be honest. They need to have a perfect initiation. Has to come from a combination of the stress and Hakon jumping in together. Maybe a tornado setting up for everything and everybody walking in while the tornado is going on. That could be a possibility. But they also are fighting into... They would be walking up high ground into a pretty big niche. Nice axe.
That looks fancy and all, but... I guess they thought Aware were going to initiate then, and getting the movement speed buff up is very important, and he can get away with that, because even if he doesn't get the Culling Blade, it's only a 6-second cooldown with an Aghanims, which is the item he just bought out to buy, by the way. He just bought a full Aghanims. It's a big item.
Yeah. No buyback.
No buyback at all, so this is very dangerous for them, because buyback really is the most important thing right now, and because the thing is, as well as the NEXT.kz, they don't, I mean, they're fighting inside their own base.
What does
so
Aware
even if they win the fight, what do they do?
What is Aware gonna do? Like, they can't
This is
fight.
just a standoff.
It's the most boring standoff ever. Nobody can do anything. We have got Aware backing off now, realizing there would be
They
feud out.
have to rely on a perfect initiation, and that's not going to happen, because, I mean, look at the way Watafaka's positioned. He's the furthest back in his team, and he does the most damage from that position. He can let his entire team die, and if he's still sleight of fisting, if he still defends his barracks, it's completely worth it, because he's going to come out with a ton of gold, and he's going to kill the enemy base. Oh, it looks like Aware, though. Oh man, is this another Aware-style ambush?
It is a bait. Oh, nice Venomancer ward, though. Tornado is only going to pick up the Ember as well as the Venom. And actually, Axe jumps in, calls up on 3. He misses the Culling Blade, or at least not able to cast it, but does it matter? No, not yet. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, not locking in Ember, and he could turn on his BKB. He's gonna go in. The crit's going on as well. It's Venomancer that still drops, and it's Watafaka that gets hexed up. In some trouble. Test of Faith coming out. Hakon, trouble for him. Trouble in Paradise running away, but it's not gonna happen if Watafaka has his way. In the meantime, Axe is clearing up on the back end and gets an ultra kill right there. He just picked up everybody that tried to run away from that engagement. 2 parts of the fight. We followed the ones with the least action, it looks like, as, well, they have 2 choices here. They can go for Roshan or they can go mid, but it looks like they are going for Roshan. They have to be going back to base, though. They cannot lose Rex, and they would if they don't, one of them doesn't move back. Oh, there we go. That's gonna be Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, and the thing is Aware, they're going to be forced to buy back on a couple of heroes here at the very least. This Roshan will go the way of Watafaka. Stallcat, you need to be careful, though.
That is an
What a play
axe
by
dead.
Roger.
What
I
a
mean,
play by Roger. And
that's
actually,
worth
it's
it.
not over.
That's worth it for him.
Hakon's coming back. What the fuck? A Hex up in some trouble there. There's a gem on the floor. Got picked up by Hakon. So that was Crystal Maiden's gem. That means that both of the gems right now are in hands of Aware. And X actually buys back into the game.
And Lycan's going to get the Roshan from this. This is a huge win for the side of Aware. I mean, the problem is that they didn't manage to force out the Watafucker's buyback in that last fight. So even now they get the Aegis and they get the cheese. They're still in the same situation they were earlier, where Ember Spirit has buyback, he's going to do a ton of damage in the fights, and if you don't get hold of him, you just lose. And that happened in the last fight as well. The initiation wasn't bad for the side of Aware, but then the axe comes in, Ember Spirit is just on the back, he gets a couple of sleight of fists off, and the fact is that does so much damage that the axe is just able to dunk everybody.
Yeah. I have to say that Roger play.
I mean, it's suicidal play from Roger to do that. It really is crazy, but
he got
it
an
worked
axe.
for them, and he got the axe for it. They managed to get the Roshan for it. It's a huge play. It probably kept Aware in this game. It's completely suicidal, and 90% of the time is not going to work at all. But this is the 1%
I'm totally gonna
or
try
the
it in
10%.
Get Aghanims on
you're
Crystal
totally
Maiden
going to fail it in
and
pubs.
just jump into the Roche pit, press R, and just hands off the keyboard.
hope.
Like, I'm
What
done,
if the
guys.
enemy team has a disable though? Because that was the reason that worked so well. They didn't have a
Oh.
disable ready.
Hakon, turn on his BKB here mid lane, looking for a kill upon Mantis. The Frostbite's there as well. Mantis, can he actually live from this? Frostbite is there, and he runs. He runs very fast, but he's not fast enough. Where is he? Timber Chain, Sunstrike will miss. Roger might still be making some big plays here. Mantis is just making
Ult
time
him,
right
Roger.
now.
Ult him. Alright, Roger didn't ult him, but
I'm
he had it
disappointed.
up. He
But
could've
he's the
tried
only
it.
one that died. That's a big deal because he wasted a lot of time from Aware, and it could have gone
He does
worse.
waste a lot of time. He gives Aware, you know, it makes Aware spend a lot of time just trying to kill him, and that gives the Ember Spirit more time to get another item up, which he definitely needs to do. He's still not at team wipe level. He's definitely close though. Maybe it's going to be another Battle Fury. Maybe it'll just be another late game item. Could even just be an MKB or something, or even just another crit. But it's very dangerous from both teams here. They do have buyback on the Shadow Shaman though.
Oh, well, I don't think he wants to be forced to use it.
Man, look
because-
look at the positioning from NEXT.kz here. Look at what Reeves and Watafucker are doing, and even what Equal is doing with his Wild Ring. Stay in the trees. They know he's here though.
Stay in the trees.
They know he's here because of the
Whoa,
sleight of
Axe!
fist.
What are you doing, buddy? He's stuck. Hand of God comes out for him, and it looks like he's gonna die. Why? Why was he there? He does not have a buyback,
That is a critical
and
mistake,
that could
and there
be
is
game.
no buyback. Yeah, this could be it for them. Aware, they have the Aegis, they have the cheese, they have the heroes who are great for just crushing the enemy base. They need to go for this now, and NEXT.kz need to play incredibly safe in this fight. They have buyback on the Shadow Shaman, they're going to wait until he's back up to actually go and try and fight.
Gale and Poison Nova coming out from Reeves, but he's still stuck. Might get sent back to base, might be living through it all, and it looks like he's not gonna live through it all. Hand of God now coming out. Mantis back in this as well. He only just got back alive, doesn't want to die again. Nice, they burn out the Aegis. Let's see if they can kill him off again. Seema turns into a wolf. Doesn't have his BKB anymore. Did have
Oh, he
his
abyssal
Abyssal. Shackle coming out. Mantis, don't just stand there. Do something. Oh, he dies, but he did buy time for Watafucker to get the kill. Cheese being used by Hakon. He can still suicide if he really wants to as well. If he thinks he's gonna die, which he's probably gonna do. There he goes. Boom, you're dead. No deny, no suicide, and no Rex down, which is immensely important and impressive as well, considering they did not have the axe in that fight.
Man, NEXT.kz just refused to give up
Oh,
this
yeah.
game. They're just fighting on their high ground forever. The thing is that Watafucker, he's now just picked up another 6k gold. So
Yeah.
if he wants to, he can go full YOLO mode right now and just buy a rapier. And what do you do versus that if you're Aware? I mean, it's crazy, but the thing is that Aware are constantly fighting in NEXT.kz's base, and NEXT.kz aren't really pushing out of it. The one opportunity they've
there it
got
is!
to do it, yeah, he's going to buy the rapier. It's the full... The thing is that if you
Rapier
defend
number 1.
forever, you could never win by defending, right? So getting a rapier, it forces the game in the next 5 minutes, pretty much. The next 5-10 minutes
No.
is probably where this game is going to end now.
No, I think Watafucker can hold on for a very long time.
He can, but if he dies once, they lose. Whether he has buyback or not.
To be honest.
Because he gives a rapier away.
Yeah, but to who? The only one that can really
I guess
make
maybe
use
the
of...
Lycan.
Yeah, that's the only one who can really use the rapier. Like, who would be most
Invoker's
successful.
not a bad rapier hero, because
This is
he's got
true.
good attack speed and he is a very high range.
This is true.
That's the thing about a rapier, is he turns any hero into a DPS dealer. He really does. Lycan is probably... Lycan or Invoker are probably the best heroes to put it on, but honestly, if it goes on the Disruptor, it's not even a problem. Not for him, anyway.
And I think that if Invoker gets to be the one with the rapier, he doesn't have a BKB, he would be easy to kill if they get him caught out. Lycan is the hardest one, the toughest one to kill, and he's got a BKB as well. But they can try to kite him. He only has a 7-second BKB, actually I thought it was lower. 7-second BKB. I wouldn't count this game out should Motherfucker lose his rapier, but of course he first would have to lose his rapier before that actually comes to
Personally,
play.
I would, but that's just my pessimistic nature, which is, guys, we have the rapier, we have to win now.
Yeah.
I mean, generally that's the idea of why you buy a rapier, is because you think, okay, we have to end this game right now. But it does mean that their base is unbreakable now. That's a simple fact. We have to get some sort of pick off to even try that fight. And I mean, let's remember, they started that fight and there was no axe. There's no initiator on the side of NEXT.kz, and they still won that fight pretty handily. So, yeah, a very dangerous situation, especially because they just picked up the most cost-effective damage item in the game on a hero who hits everybody on your team. And cleaves them.
Did you see
He's pretty good rapier hero.
He's a very good rapier hero. Did you see the tiebreakers of Star Ladder last Friday?
Which one was it? Which game was it?
It was
It's on
IG
most of the games of Star Ladder.
versus... It was a tiebreaker. I casted it.
Yeah, I think I did watch it.
There were two rapiers and 2 battle furies on the Ember. And a third rapier in the base.
Yeah, I definitely did watch it then. He hit crazy hard.
And he had one deadless as well for the crit and booty travel.
Yeah, he just keeps on buying it. That's the thing is, if this does go long enough, buyback is less important than buyback plus rapier.
Yeah, like
because
just
you
backup
actually
rapiers.
need to get to a point where you can buy back and pick up a new rapier.
Yeah, it's possible.
Which is crazy, but it's definitely doable.
It's crazy, but it works.
It's crazy, but it works. God, this game is... I mean, this game seemed to be pretty standard from the get-go, but it is turned into an absolute whopper, I gotta say.
A whopper? Is it a whopper then?
Yeah, mate. A whopper then.
It turned into an absolute whopper.
Why do you have to make me do the British accent
I don't know.
every time we do a cast now?
Well, it's like a whopper. It's the burger from Burger King. That's a whopper.
It is.
I don't know.
No, but a whopper is just slang for, like, a big one. I don't know.
I've never heard that before, apart from as a Burger King burger. A whopper.
That's a whopper is that's a real thing. It's not just a burger. I'm not crazy, I swear.
Okay.
I'm just British.
Just British. I can't
I'm
help
just
myself.
British. It's not my fault.
It's not my fault. No, I
Do
don't
you want a
know.
cup of tea?
Okay,
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
whopper, guys. You heard it here first.
This is what happens when a game gets to 60 minutes, though. Because the fact is that net worth means nothing on some of these heroes now.
And
it
I
means
have to
absolutely
say,
nothing.
The difference is in net worth. Like experience, we can't look at experience anymore because we do have, like, how many?
I mean,
we have
people
2
are getting
level
to level 25.
Yeah,
So you can't get any more experience.
So that doesn't work anymore. But the gold graph, it is not even 10k difference, which sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot for 1 hour into the game. That's just nothing.
10k an hour into the game is like nothing. You don't really notice it. It's a couple of items, maybe. It's maybe a sheep stick or something special on somebody, but it's nothing big.
It's just like 6k of that is a rapier that could actually be unaware at any point, and then they would have more gold, maybe soon.
Well, the thing is as well, if you think about it, losing a rapier is losing 12k gold, because you don't just lose the rapier, you give it to the enemy team.
Yes.
So if you lose this rapier, you lose 6k from your net worth, and you give 6k to the enemy net worth. It's a huge turnaround, but Watafucker's just sitting in his base right now.
Well,
because
yeah.
he knows that they just can't break the base right now. They need to find a pick-off, and I mean, who on NEXT.kz is going to be crazy enough to actually go outside the base and give them an opportunity for the pick-off? I mean, I guess we should talk about items, because there's a few small things that have been picked up. Reeves has picked up a Heaven's Halberd, which is very good against Lycan if his BKB is down, which is very useful against anybody that might pick up the Rapier as well, because nobody else has a BKB. So there's a possibility that someone could still get this rapier off the Ember if he dies, and then do nothing with it, which would be absolutely crazy. And otherwise, I mean, there's now a Shiva's Guard on the Timbersaw. That won't do a huge amount other than disable other people in the fight, because it doesn't do anything versus Ember Spirit, Sleight of Fist, just your attack speed doesn't matter at all.
How do
There's a
they
sheep
know?
stick on the Invoker, and
How do
I
they
guess
know?
just good map movement. I guess they just didn't see them defending their base. I don't know.
They didn't
I don't
saw.
know.
They didn't see. Like they pinged out. I thought they saw him, but they did not. Never mind. They back off. Like Lolik was like.
Aware seem to have brilliant map awareness. Like, if anything,
Fun.
that is one thing Aware are great at. Because they're aware of it. Oh my god, that is terrible. That is an awful, awful joke.
It makes sense. And
It
you
does,
made it.
but it's terrible. Yeah, I didn't mean to. I feel bad about it,
Yeah.
if anything.
Go feel bad about that. Oh, careful, Mantis. So be careful. Mantis is sitting on 40 gold. He is
Oh man.
gonna hex up.
Disruptor has a refresher orb. That's the big
No,
one. though.
that is a
Disruptor
hex
has
being
refresher.
wrongly used. Hakon hex a creep, a Necronomicon unit instead. It's gonna get shackled. Counts by this Static Storm. That's good for him. It's good for Hakon actually, who did use his BKB for that. His BKB is about to run out. Stalkat's not gonna chase him down. No deaths. Wonderfucker coming in as well, but wasn't able to do anything anymore. That was a
Yeah,
scary
it wasn't going to kill
situation right
Reeves.
there.
No. It was very dangerous. Thing is previously, if Aware would have taken that fight and they'd have used up their Static Storm, that would be a call for NEXT.kz to try and end the game. But it's not, because Disruptor has a refresher orb now, so he can, if they chase after he misses a Static Storm, he can refresh it and try and go for it again. So Stress really is probably the most important hero on the side of Aware. Everybody else is relying on him to control them. I mean, the sheepsticks are nice, but ultimately they're not going to be fully controlled until they're in the Static Storm and in the kinetic field, which, I mean, he's got buyback, he's got the refresher orb as well. They're going to take another Roshan now. I've stopped counting. Are we on 4 or 5?
4.
I think 4, yeah.
I think 4 too.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see more, to be honest, because neither team knows how to end the game right now.
I think
It's
for
incredibly
Aware,
hard.
right now, their best option is to probably... Like, the thing is, if they breach the base, like, they only have to walk across this line right here. You can't see it, but on the bottom lane, on the up the ramp. The Static Storm is gonna cover 2 parts. Well, that's a bit bigger, but, you know, and, I mean, they can just take the range Rex and run.
They can definitely do that. It's certainly possible if they want to just blow everything on just trying to zone them out and then take a Rax. But let's be fair here. Is a Rax even that much at this stage of the game? For the side of NEXT.kz in particular. Because NEXT.kz have this completely stacked Ember Spirit who hits everything incredibly hard and cleaves with a Battle Fury. Does it even matter if they lose a Rax? It hurts them a little bit, but it's nothing like ending the game. Not even close. They need to actually try and break NEXT.kz, and that's incredibly hard to do if you don't get a hold of Watafucker. Well, they know the supports are here. There's no backup, though. Timber and Lycan are on another part of the map, but
Now both got good
NEXT.kz,
travel,
they're
right?
so careful with this Rapier, because they know if they lose it right now, it could be the end of the game for them.
Yeah, and actually, Lycan does not have boots of travel, which is kind of surprising to me.
You know, I would love to see just everybody on their team try and build up boots of travel now. They already have it on most of them. Roger has it. The supports have
Everybody
it.
has it, apart from Lycan.
And Lolik. So probably
Oh, he
two of
doesn't have it
the
either.
most core heroes.
Right.
Yeah. I drink coffee. I mean, playing a Venomancer in this game is literally the simplest thing ever. There's not much else you do. They even they just bought a Lincoln's on Chen just to defend this
Yeah.
freaking Ember Spirit. Oh my god.
And he has almost got enough gold for a second rapier.
That's a lot of gold right there. What does he even sell to pick up his second rapier though?
And the second deadless.
I don't even know if that's worth it. Somebody would have to like spend a lot of time on a calculator to know exactly which is worth it more.
Oh, Axe gets
Axe is
a kill
actually
on
gonna get a
Timbersaw
kill.
though. Oh, refresher being used. Stress might actually go down. He does get a second
my
Static
God.
Storm off, but it's too much. Hakon, he comes back in. Boots of travel, bought back. He wants to get a kill. He gets one as well. Shadow Shaman and Axe both drop. 2 for 2 in the end, but a buyback, of course, for Hakon. Talking about buybacks. Mantis has
There's
a
no
buyback.
buyback on the Shadow Shaman,
20
but it's very
gold.
close.
Yeah.
It's very close. And there's plenty of money on the Axe, who has 5k gold,
Yes.
as you do, just sitting around in the bank account, you know.
But they do not
Man,
want
this
to buy
is
back.
really late game. Age is going to be reclaimed in 3 minutes, and they don't have their Disruptor with the Refresher Orb up, so even though they take those 2 kills, you can't kill Watafucker. He's invincible, still. Still invincible. He spends a lot of this time just hitting creeps. He's got almost 600 CS at this point. I just like to put that out there.
That's actually quite big.
Really?
Really?
That's actually quite big.
It's actually quite big, yeah. I don't know.
Hey, are you starting to see, you know, with the whole, like, when games go long enough in Dota, stuff starts bugging out because of the engine?
Yeah?
Do you see on the bottom lane in front of the racks a little blue orb?
Nope.
Oh, okay, on my screen there's just a blue orb just chilling in front of the racks.
Oh, I
As
have
you
no
do.
blue orb.
I'm already getting small graphical glitches.
I do have 7,000 gold in the inventory of Watafucker though. And no buyback needed on either the Shadow
Buy a
Shaman.
rapier.
Oh, Seema, careful. Fortification getting used there. Testifate there as well. Penance.
On the bottom
Watafucker.
lane, Lolik is here on the bottom lane. He's going to try and kill Reeves.
He is going to be
They're going to try and
successful.
rat Dota this.
Yeah, and they're going to be
think they're
successful at
gonna
it
try.
as well. They get one
The only one
hero.
defending is Watafucker. And Watafucker can't be everywhere.
Hakon blinks away. They got the tier 3 tower. They don't get the Rex. As it looks like stress might still be going down, but I don't think it matters. They got the tier 3 tower top,
And they almost killed the range
and
barracks
they almost
bottom.
killed the range.
I mean,
Rex.
this is the way to do it. If you have to, you play it as slow as you can. You take out every range barracks first, in order, and then you go and get everything else. And oh, Starcat's out of position here. He's been hit by Boots of Trap.
Puts a trap.
Yeah, Roger BOT'd on top of him and just altered him.
Well, Frostbite ult, it works. They can take down the Rex, I think. They can just send down the Necro units or whatever, Fort Spirits, and then they can take down that
No,
Rex.
Watafucker might kill them all.
Well, unless he wants.
He's still crazy dangerous. He's got another 9k gold. Oh my god.
But he wants to have and
If they
buyback
lose
and
this,
a second rapier.
whoever loses this is going to feel so bad. Can you imagine losing this game? It's crazy hard.
The thing is, from what I've been told, or at least from what I've heard at some point from a caster, or from a player rather, who was co-casting,
I'm going into hiding.
when a game lasts this long, and we already mentioned it, the gold doesn't matter anymore, experience doesn't matter anymore. This is where experience
It's
comes
critical
into play.
items and the heroes
Yeah.
that you have.
And the play, the strategy that you have in mind, that means
Yeah.
that it comes more down to a personal skill rather than anything else. That means that if you lose a fight, Lolik is gonna try to backdoor the Rax, it looks like. But if you lose a fight, if you lose a game at this yeah, that's the second rapier, at this late hour,
As you do.
then you lost based of skill, not based of outdraft, not based of something gimmicky. No, you lost. Wow.
Yeah,
poison
I
level
would
for
definitely
that.
agree that. Because the thing is, at this stage, either team, if they get the right opportunity, will just kill the enemy base. I mean, Lycan, a hero famous for doing for it, he has a few items.
No boots.
He hits pretty damn hard. Watafucker as well, not exactly a general... Wow, he's got rid of his boots.
I'm not sure if that's
That is
the right
dangerous
choice, though.
versus Disruptor. Yeah, that is very dangerous, and I feel like you get rid of the BKB. I know that's crazy, because he needs some survivability, but he needs to be able to get away from the Disruptor.
Look at
I
how
don't know about
slow
this.
he
This
is. It's just so sad. It's like he's walking.
Somebody
in
on his
slow
team needs to get drums and just sit behind him.
We do
Maybe a
have
couple of force staffs.
Scotty for Lycan. What is your opinion about that one?
Why would you get a Scardy?
Well, if you're fighting
I don't
someone
know
who
about
does not
that.
have boots, you're slowing him down even
That's
more.
true, actually. That'll be pretty useful. I mean, it will increase his DPS by a huge amount. It's probably overall better than just getting another heart, because the thing is it's going to give you more armor, and it's going to give you a lot more DPS because of the extra stats that it gives you. I mean, we're going into ultra late game here. The fact is that most of the stuff they're doing is completely untested, to be fair. Like, you do not get a
Stress.
chance to practice ultra late game.
Stress dies. BKB turned on by Mentos actually for that. X will be fine.
It's okay, he has buyback and another 1k gold after it. Oh no, sorry, 2k gold.
Yeah, everybody's
As
starting
you
to be
do.
pretty rich.
Everybody is rich this game. And this is the factors. This is where when the game goes really long like this, is it's having very specific hero abilities and counters and things like that that matter as well. Not just that individual skill, but also how your draft goes into the very late game is not just anymore about, you know, oh, an Ember Spirit is good late game. Well, an Ember Spirit is good late game, but is a Chen, for instance, is a Chen much use this late game? I mean, he's bought a Lincoln Sphere and he's sitting behind Watafaka and using it on it. That's his role in this game.
And if Watafaka's in trouble,
he's not otherwise a good hero.
Then he's gonna send him home.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't honestly tell you who has the advantage in going into the ultra late game of this, which we're practically in now, especially when you consider just how much gold everybody has and how many items.
Hey Con, he jumps himself in, turns on his BKB. Is it gonna be a fight? Looks like it might be. BKB also turned on my Watafaka. We're gonna follow him. Lincoln's already popped. He's so incredibly slow at the Scotty on me, and that's gonna be one dead! One dead Watafaka, 2 rapiers on the floor, 1 picked up by the Lycan, down goes the Venomancer, and the other rapier is in the hands of the... I just saw it. I just saw it. Where did it go? It is in the hands... Stress! Disruptor has a rapier! Woohoo!
I knew it!
Support
Best
power!
DPS hero ever!
Well, AZ will get picked up.
Because he'll die!
Yeah, oh, that's gonna be Chen.
Go! Oh no, he's giving away the rapier!
No, he's not. He's giving it to Lolik. Lolik has a rapier.
It's even worse. Lolik's a good rapier hero.
Yeah, but that was
this
a
might
throw.
be the end.
Like, in theory, an Ember Spirit with 2 rapiers should be able to win the game, I find.
Look at them cut through Watafaka.
Oh my god, it's not over yet.
That's the end of it.
Lycan? No, it's not the end of it. Lycan might still be able to do something. If they can kill him, no, never mind, that's over. It's so over. GG. 2 rapiers given away. I really think that's the wrong, like, obviously it's easy to talk in hindsight, but it's the wrong decision to just go walk up like that.
It's much easier to talk from a position of casting, because you can see the entire map, you have the gold drafts up, you have the net worths, you can always check people's items, you know exactly what's been happening, you know, you don't have to play through the stress of it, but yeah, exactly. But yeah, I've got to agree with you. Dropping your boots at this stage of the game, he got grabbed. He was too slow. He couldn't do anything.
You're fighting up against a Lycan who's mighty fast regardless, of course, and also with the
and has an Abyssal as well. So if he gets caught once, he can die.
He just dropped so fast.
He needs to try and get away from that. I honestly think, I'd have to agree with you. Dropping the boots there, rather than maybe one of his other damage items, or even his BKB, although that's dangerous, but his BKB doesn't do anything if he gets caught by Disruptor.
No,
that wasn't what killed him. What killed him was that he got caught by Lycan, and look at the levels on these heroes at the end. The worst 2 off, Chen and Venomancer. Poor guys. Venomancer 09 and 16. That's a sad game to play. Chen 04 and 10. Oh man.
Well, Shadow Shaman died 17 times though.
That's a lot of deaths.
That is a lot of deaths. 71-minute game. We are going to jump ourselves into the second game of the day. It is going to be the retry / DT 168 taking on Power Rangers, so stick around. We'll be right back with the second game of 3 of the evening, and it shouldn't take long before we have that game up, so don't go anywhere.